Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Top Producers Nation podcast. This is the podcast designed to help agents become top producers in whatever market that you serve in. We also help team leaders and brokers develop more top producers in their organizations as well. On a local level, we're powered by the Tampa Bay Real Producers franchise here in beautiful Tampa Bay, Florida. We're hanging out in the studio today here on the corner of Kennedy and West Shore, and we feature the top 500 producing agents in the Tampa Bay market through the Tampa Bay Real Producers magazine and platform here on a local level. So one of the guests that we have here today has been featured before in Tampa Bay Real Producers, has been spotlighted on some of our monthly panels that we put on here locally. We've known Jodi now for a while over the years in various different ways. She's been nominated and actually won awards at our Agent Choice Awards over the years. So it's good to finally have you in the studio, Jodi. How you doing?
Great. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Don.
No doubt. We've been wanting you to have on the show now, I feel like, for a while. So I'm glad we can make it work out in the calendar. And with all the exciting things that you got going on, there's a lot to talk about. So we're excited to have you in for sure. This episode, by the way, is sponsored too by one of our amazing partners with Coastal Collective Title. That's none other than Miss Lori Lacopola. Lori is also here in the house. What's up, Lori? How you doing?
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thanks for having me.
I've been seeing a lot of you this week.
I know. You're going to get sick of me soon.
We had our Elite Agent Mastermind yesterday just down the street at Star, and Lori got to speak to the agents in that room, and it's cool to have you here today with Jodi as well. So we're going to dive into some of the exciting things that you have going on with Coastal Collective as well, but we're going to start here with Jodi and a little bit of your background for people who might not know the story. So did you grow up in Tampa? If not, how did you get here? What eventually got you interested in real estate?
What got me here? I actually was born a little poor black girl. No.
Wow. What a switch.
Wow.
I didn't see that coming at all.
No, I was born in Long Island and lived there till I was 7. And then we moved to
New York
Florida.
gal.
So I'm from Long Island.
Long Island.
Does the accent come out every now and again?
Actually, no.
Okay.
No, I don't. I think I have the heart of a New Yorker, like quick, fast.
Go get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no. But we moved here when we were 7, and then I didn't start real estate till 1993.
1993. Okay.
Yep. And then I actually I got my license in 1993, and I didn't start till 2011.
Oh.
Wow. So that's a story in and of itself, I guess, right?
Yep. And I did get my broker's license, but never did it actively.
Okay.
And then in 2011, I started.
What got you interested in real estate to begin with? Why'd you get the license?
Well, my ex-husband was a realtor.
Okay.
So I actually was a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids. Mm-hmm. I didn't beat you, Don. You're at 6. So
I
I'm
am.
Impressed.
Not that anybody's being competitive at all, but yes.
See the competitiveness? So no, but being a mom really prepared me for real estate.
Makes sense.
So when I started in 2011, it really changed my life. I love it.
When you got licensed initially, you knew you wanted to get into real estate at some point.
Well,
you just knew that at that time.
He was a realtor. So it was kind of just like expected to be like a husband and wife team.
Yeah.
But I never did anything. So I never saw a contract. I didn't know anything about real estate.
Yep.
I did have a license, but I wasn't active in it at all.
Got it. Okay. And then once you did get into the business, what did you do prior? Did you have a different career prior to real estate, or was real estate kind of the first passion from the get-go?
Well, when I got divorced and I had 4 kids, I had to figure out what kind of career I can have that gave me unlimited income, right?
Yeah.
Really flexible hours, and real estate really fit.
For sure.
Because my kids were really young. So what happened was I had like 4, 7, 11, 12, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they were little and they went to 3 different schools, and I was thinking, how am I going to do real estate and be a stay-at-home mom? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for me, that was the only career that I could possibly do with 4 kids on my own.
Makes sense. And now you have some of the kids involved in the career with you. I know Elizabeth has been featured by our under 30 category just recently in one of our issues. Do all 4 are involved in real estate, or how many are now?
Actually, my Hunter has his license, which is my oldest, and then I have Victoria. She did get her license and do it part-time.
Okay.
And then Elizabeth got her license, and then Lily doesn't have hers.
Got it.
So
I think
she's-
we're actually in the process of featuring Hunter as well as an upcoming rising star in one of our upcoming issues, because we definitely got connected to him too to go through that process. So it is
they're
running
my
deep.
life
The
and
Jodi Avery
savior.
team is running deep at this point.
You know, it's priceless to be able to work with my kids. I
That's
have
cool.
to say that.
Yeah.
And to work together as a team and to support each other. And everyone has their strengths. You know, so as I get older, I say I'm old school, you know, and I started, you know, for a long time. Obviously, it's been 33 years of doing this. And
It's amazing, isn't it? 33
it's kind
years.
of one of those things that as technology changes, you know, just everything that goes on in real estate, it makes a difference. So to have my kids to do, let's say, social media and all the upcoming things and technology changing, they've really helped the business and grow it in ways that I can't even express.
No, that makes a lot of sense for sure. You were mentioning off camera that sometimes it's easy to just hand your phone off to Elizabeth and let her handle some of those
I
responsibilities.
just
So
hand it to her. I just
Do this.
They
Do
just
this.
watch me. You know, first of all, I have an Android, so
Yep.
they cringe because I don't have an Apple.
yeah, I'm part of the Android family.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm not cringing over here at all.
So, you know, they look at my phone and I just hand it over. It's so much easier because they watch me see how I'm struggling and they're just like, give me the phone. I can't watch you do this.
Take us back to the early first year, if you remember it, when you say 2011, when you were just getting started as a full-time realtor. A lot of agents, as you know, struggle in those early years just to try to like figure this business out, right? You've obviously been very successful, and we're not spending all the time talking about numbers, but even just last year alone, Jodi and her team did over $40 million, over 90 transactions. Every year that we've even had this platform, you've been a top producer. Jodi's been in the top 50 in all of Tampa Bay. It's a consistently top 1, 2, or 3 within the Keller Williams brokerage. So your business has a reputation now of consistent success, right, over the years. But what was it like for you to get started in that first year or two? Do you remember what the biggest challenge was, or what was a breakthrough for you?
I had a coach. And you don't know anything about real estate when you start. You know, you pass your class and you think, okay, I know everything. And you realize I know nothing. You know, so when I first started, the coach, you know, would meet with me and she's like, Jodi, you need to get 4 listings every single month, you know, and work with 4 buyers. And I was like, you know, how do you do this?
Yeah.
You know, and I remember I would leave her coaching and I'd drive home and I'd drive through the streets. And if I saw a for sale by owner, I would be like, perfect, I need a house they want to sell, you know, and I would knock on doors, you know, so old school knocking on doors.
Wow.
And that's how it all started. And so when I would knock on the door, you know, I would say, hey, you know, I would love to get a preview of your house. Any chance? And my coach would go to me, how are you getting these listings? And I go, well, I took the long way home, drove streets, knocked on doors. And then the next step was trying to figure out, like, okay, I got an appointment, you know, I got to meet the people. What do I do next? You know, so I remember distinctly having the paperwork. I didn't know how to do the paperwork. You know, I'm a new agent. I don't know how to fill out all this paperwork. So I told Zena at the time of my office, I said, can you print everything and highlight it of where they sign? So I would go on listing appointments and I would just bring the paperwork. It was highlighted. And I would say, I just need you to sign here, you know. And then I would take the paperwork to my office and it was blank. And they would go to me, how in the world are you getting blank paperwork?
It was signed, just blank.
So,
It just speaks to the trust, though, that they had obviously in signing these things.
Go, I don't know how you had blank paperwork signed. And, you know, I just said highlight. I go, that's what you told me to do. Sign.
Right.
Everywhere it's highlighted. So then, you know, I got really good at figuring out how the paperwork. And you know what's funny is today everything's electronic.
Yeah.
But when you start out fresh and not know, and you learn step by step on how to do it,
Yeah.
that's when you really become successful, because you know that you have to, it's not easy.
Yeah.
You have to take the hard way. And I felt like I always took the hard way. I did the knocking on the doors, meeting with clients.
Which is interesting. Now, you said you moved here when you were 7. Did you, in those early times, did you have a network of people, your warm market, your sphere, people would say, that you initially were able to go to? It sounds
No.
like you kind of built it with strangers from the very beginning.
I built it with strangers. It was knocking on doors, meeting with people. But the thing that separated me was I really cared about the client and I catered to them. and they felt my heart. I think there's a lot of times, let's say if you go to a doctor or an attorney for whatever reason, and, they become you're a client. But there's somehow during the process where someone switches from being a client to being really caring.
Yeah.
And you can feel it in their voice. You can feel it in their tone. You can feel it in their heart.
For sure.
And then you go, wow, it's a difference.
Yeah.
And so I think my clients know that I care about them. I'll do anything for them. And they hear it. We show it in every aspect of what we do.
We talked about that a lot yesterday, actually, on the mastermind, just the importance of leading with value and why that's so critical. It's interesting. When we first met, you had this thing called, and I'm sure you probably do, called Jodi's A-list, right? And I remember you sharing that with me, and it speaks to what you're talking about now, as Rob fixes your mic and gets your audio set up. He likes you to eat the mic, by the way. I forgot to mention that to you. So obviously, as a partner, Lori would be one of those people technically on the A-list, right, as far as how you guys got connected. But what was the genesis of that for you in terms of creating this list, not just, I guess, to benefit your partners, but I think you viewed it also as a community, like a giving back resource, right, for your community. Do you want to speak to that?
What happens is you go to someone's house and they need a handyman, they need a plumber, and they need an electrician, and you start putting a one-page list together and say, hey, here's some service providers I'd like you to use. But you get a relationship with these people, that they care. Like yesterday, I had a client that moved into a new house. The movers who I recommended not only move them, but this couple really struggles physically. One's in a wheelchair, one's this, and now they're moving from one place to another. They really can't unload things. They can't place things. But the mover called me up and says, by the way, I'm going back tomorrow just to spend a couple of hours unpacking their dishes, putting it where it goes.
Yeah.
Now that's above and beyond.
For sure.
Now the movers didn't have to do that. The people who are in a wheelchair, they can explain where things go, but they can't physically do it. It'd take them weeks. So I try to connect with people that care about my clients, and that's what makes a difference. So, my A-list was being published every single year as a booklet.
Yep.
But when COVID hit, people's jobs changed, and the book could not keep up.
Yeah.
So this year we made a big thing where we are now digital. And I actually have the ability of adding people, taking them off. But the people I recommend make a difference. And I'll use Lori as an example. She is absolutely incredible. And what's funny about her is you can tell the heart of her. I think on my neck here is a necklace that she gave me. I don't know if
did you wear it?
And this is a Doberman, which is my dog. And on the back of it, it says Zara.
Nice.
So, she could
Which I'm assuming is your dog's name?
Yes.
Yes. No, she likes that store.
I just thought that's a cool name.
Shopping there.
I like the store. So, just to show the character of who Lori is, is that not only did she know more about me, she cares about me. She's a relationship person. That's who I want to associate with.
Totally.
And the fact that she not only bought a necklace, she had it monogrammed with my dog's names. And that's the people I want to do business with. Someone that goes above and beyond, services my clients, thinks about who they are, and makes a difference in their lives.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's kind of who I want to associate with. So that's why I love her. When she wins all these awards, it's because of these relationships that she makes with people. She cares, she goes above and beyond, and she's phenomenal.
Well, we're old school together, right? I mean, we're very similar in age. We've both been in this a very long time. So I think when we started, that's just kind of how you did it. Now it's just like you said, everything's so electronical and, maybe not quite as relationship based.
I still to this day pick up the phone and talk to clients. I'm not one for texting everything or emailing everything. So I'm the first one to pick up the phone, where my two kids would like to text and email everything. I pick up the phone. I want to have conversation. I want to communicate negotiations by the phone, by their voice, by their passion.
And that's not easy to do when you are serving as many clients as you've served over the years, right? So I'm assuming there's an element of like having those core clients that you know are either consistently repeat clients with you, or that you've just connected at a certain level that might be different than anybody else. But is there anything you've learned over the years that has helped you maintain those strong relationships when your business has grown and it had to be a little bit more challenging to keep serving as many families as you've served over the years?
Well, it is. This whole business isn't about the awards or any of the accolades that you get. It is about the relationship. That's what life is about.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the people you meet along the way. It's the kindness you express. It's the caring in your heart that makes a difference. I don't want to be remembered by awards or things you've done. It's how did I make my client feel after the transaction?
Mm-hmm.
Do they feel like, wow, Jodi really cared. She's doing the best she can for me. This is what it is. And it's all about the communication.
Yep.
So we never want to lose that. We'll never get busy enough to lose that, because that's what life's about. When you become a number, it's, you don't feel cared for, loved, or appreciated, or valued.
Sure. And that's where the referrals and ongoing business also step in as well.
It's funny because
most of your business today, I think, is referral driven. Is that fair?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
We get a lot of new clients, but it's funny because you sell, let's say, someone's parents, and at the time they had little kids. Now those little kids are buying houses.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, the parent would go, "You have to clean the room up for Jodi." And now they're selling their house.
Makes sense.
And I go, "I remember you when you were little."
How did you guys get connected? Do you remember that?
I think it was when I was in home warranty. And so that was 2014. And Keller Williams was one of my big clients that Jodi was at. And I think we just hit it off.
We always connected because
we
you're
did.
Such a relationship person.
Yeah, and you too. And so,
I really loved how she did business.
And that was initially on the home warranty side,
Yeah.
it sounds like, as far as what you were serving business-wise.
Yep.
And
that
then
was the home
with your
warranty
pivots
side.
to title
Yeah.
over the years, you've just continued to work with Joni in those different paths.
I mean, I think we've always remained friends. We haven't always worked together. There'll be like a year where we won't speak, but then I'll just text her and be like, "Hey, how are you?" Whatever. And then, like we'll chat or whatever. And, she'll send me a deal here and a deal there. And I always appreciate her support. She's a very big cheerleader, which I love. She's a girl's girl.
We all need some good cheerleaders on our side, don't we?
Yeah, right. She's a woman's woman, not girl's girl. And so she's always supported me and been really happy for me. So that's what I've always loved about Jodi.
Do you want to take a minute and share what you're going on now with Coastal Collective and the new venture that you're fired up about?
I would love to. So yeah, I am now managing partner of Coastal Collective Title. It's been a long time coming. I've been in the business now 21 years. A lot of people don't know that I started as an agent. I was with Remax actually. And then I worked for a builder, and then when I built my first house, that's how I got into it. I was a pediatric nurse, and I became friends with the salesperson. She's like, "Have you ever thought about real estate?" And I'm like, "No, I went to school for nursing, And then the more I got to know her, I was like, "Oh, let me dabble in this a little bit," and fell in love with it and have never looked back. So I got licensed in 2004. So almost 22 years actually. And did that for about 11 years. I went into home warranty for 5, which I liked. You have to have really strong shoulders in home warranty because when people call you, they're not happy.
You're getting all the complaints,
You're getting
right?
all the complaints. My AC's out, my refrigerator, and it's understandable.
Sure.
If my AC went
You're
out
the go-to
in August,
source, right?
I'd be very unhappy. And then it just kind of was like a natural next step to get into title, and a company gave me an opportunity, and I feel that this title's my home. I loved being an agent. I enjoyed home warranty for the time I was there, but to me, the title part of it, just getting to that, the end and the closing, and
You get to celebrate the victory
you get to
of the
celebrate
closing.
the victory, again, the relationships with the agents, they just spent 30, 45 days with them finding the house and, doing all the financial stuff and everything else. And then you kind of get to us. And I mean, ours is very important, right? But yeah, you get to the end and you get to kind of celebrate with everyone, and we made it and we did it, and so yeah, it's my favorite part of it. So I was having a really bad day one day, and I was getting yelled at left and right, and it was about noon, and I was sitting in the Target Plaza, and I don't know if I should say this on here, but I started praying, and I was like,
You could say that anytime you want, Lori.
I know. I'm just like,
I'm praying every day.
And I was sitting there and I was like, I just don't know if I'm in the right place. Like I am putting this before you wherever I'm supposed to be. Like, send me a sign, give me something, and around 3:30 that afternoon, my phone rang, and it was my good friend Kevin Byrne. Who is
love Kevin. We've featured him before.
We love Kevin.
Part of our team leader mastermind group as well.
And he was having a day too. And so he called me and he said, let's start a title company. And I was on the phone with him, and I remember looking up and I was like, well, that was quick. I just asked you 3 hours ago, but cool.
That's cool.
And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, say less. And we got together, and it took us about 2 months to put this together, but it was the right partner at the right time in the right situation. So it was God's will, it was ours. And, I couldn't be more proud of what we're building, and, what we're going to be bringing to the Tampa and all of Florida. We're definitely going to do things a little bit different. We're going back to the relationships. We're going, back to it, not just how many files can we whip out. It's, let's really make this white glove service, and let's really make sure that we're doing everything we can.
Go ahead, Jodi.
Add to that, one of the things that really stands out about Lori and the businesses we've done together is that you're only as good as how you handle a crisis situation. Mm-hmm. It's easy to do real estate or title work or anything when everything perfect, and everybody's happy. Yep. It's when you have something go wrong and crisis. And I'd have to say, Lori is a master of dealing with crisis situations and coming alongside of people and doing what needs to be done to get the deal together and resolved. And how can we handle it? Because that's what makes someone exceptional.
For sure.
And I'd have to say Lori's one of those people, especially that can handle a crisis situation amazingly well.
That's the Chicago dog in me.
I've seen that in Lori as well. We've had a couple crises in a few of our events over the years that she's helped step in and help out with.
She does it with grace and dignity and professionalism.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
So
something tells me that Jodi does the same with her real estate career over the years as well.
Absolutely. Definitely one of the kindest hearts I've ever met, especially, in this field. So, and
I'm interested. So both of you brought up the importance of relationships and how you have leaned into them as far as really the foundation for how you've built both of your businesses. Have you noticed, or do you feel like in today's age, which seems to be very technology driven, AI is obviously a very hot topic nowadays, and there's a lot of important things that I think we have to utilize that for. But do you find that to bring any unique challenges at all to your business in terms of balancing that with the relationship foundation, right? That I think both of you are really all about. How have you balanced that or dealt with that, Jodi?
Well, I think you have to be who you are. It's kind of like, I would say I'm a little bit old school, but the essence of who you are as a person has to come out across in everything you do. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I do a lot of speaking on something called Dare to Be Different. And I say, be the essence of who you are. Don't try to be me. Don't try to be my son, Hunter. Don't try to be my daughter, Elizabeth. Be who you are. Yeah. And so for me, my faith is very important to me. And so you want to live with integrity. And, people always said to me when I started my business, I would meet with the clients, and at the very first appointment, I would pray with them. And I would always say, can I pray with you? Mm-hmm. And I haven't had one person say no.
That's cool.
I love it.
And basically, I just put a blessing over their family, their kids, their marriages. Yeah. It's a very just simple thing, but it's really touched people. Yeah. But what I brought upon recently is we brought someone called Lynn Woodell who works for me. She's actually, I would consider her family. You know how you don't feel as they're like employees? She is actually the person that gives and checks and gives feedback every single week to all of our clients. She also goes on the listing appointment takes notes on the houses and kind of organizes getting all the HOA docs and all that. But when she meets with them and goes to the house, she literally prays with them for 10 to 15 minutes.
Wow.
And it's, tears are coming off their face. And then
That's
when
neat.
she goes to get feedback from realtors, she says, thank you for the feedback on here's what we liked about the house or didn't. And then she goes, is there something I can pray with you about?
Yep.
So
Wow.
people are like, we have never been asked this.
That's awesome.
And these realtors are going, yes, can you pray for this? And can you pray for this? Mm-hmm. And then for me, our closing gift, we don't really do a closing gift, but we give monogram Bibles.
Oh,
And we give monogram Bibles not only to our clients, our buyers, our sellers, and they usually get it a couple of weeks later. And we have given over 3,000 Bibles, if not more.
That's awesome.
But what we recently has done, if I win an award or won Realtor of the Year or something like that, we open it up on the internet to anyone, anywhere. So I say, I will mail a Bible. All you have to do is give me the name of the person you want monogrammed and the address it mailed to. No questions asked. But we've mailed them to Australia, Italy, all over the world.
Wow.
So it's been life-changing,
Yeah, I love that.
So it's been a blessing.
That's
so
awesome.
I think you have to stand out and be different, but you have to be who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk a lot about in our, we have an online community now for Top Producers Nation, it's called, and the first principle of the community is about knowing your unique selling proposition, your USP, which is your differentiator, right? And what you're just exactly saying is daring to be different, being able to communicate what is most important to you as a realtor, whether that is your faith, whether that's a specific neighborhood that you're just passionate about and that you love, or whether it's a specific demographic that you want to serve, the senior living community, the first-time home buyers, the investors, whatever it might be, and really understanding how you can build an entire business around creating value for that particular demographic, right? Or that niche, or even if it's a faith-based thing. I know that's something that is also very important to me, and creating ways that you can add value to people's lives that you really care about, I think is just a smart business approach, and business tends to be attracted to that when you're genuine about it, which you obviously are. It's funny you bring up like the impact that prayer has. We were up in Jersey for our vacation recently. My aunt is 91 years old up there. And one of the things that she taught me years ago, and we really didn't institute it very well as a family until just recently, but when they go out to eat at every restaurant, they always ask the waiter and the waitress if there's anything that they can pray for them. They always say, hey, we always pray for our meal. And before we do that, is there anything that's going on that we can pray for you? And like the reaction sometimes that you get from people is really overwhelming as to how touched, right, they really are. Because like you said, they just don't get asked that question very often by anybody. So with my kids and our family, we were doing that on restaurants on the drive up and on the drive back. And it is really neat to see the impact that even just a simple question like that would show someone you genuinely care, how they respond to it. Not even from a sense of wanting to get anything out of it, just to truly give and actually show heart.
Did you pray for the deer?
No, we are not going to talk about the deer. We are not talking about the
I'm
deer.
told I can't talk about the deer, Lori. We have to leave the deer out of this conversation.
No, but I mean, people say to you, when is a good time to sell?
Yeah.
And I go, death, divorce, and moving are the three most stressful things. There's never a good time to sell, right? Who wants to pack up their stuff, try to move it? But we want to come alongside of our clients, be there for them. Every aspect of the deal we want to be a part of and help them about it. You know what I mean? And that's what makes a difference.
I want to ask you both about, since both of you in your own ways have also built teams before, and you're building a team now with Coastal Collective. You obviously are building a team and have been a team leader within Keller Williams and the Jodi Avery group. And some people that watch our audience are current team leaders or brokers, or maybe want to get into that space and have a goal and a vision of wanting to build an organization. So for somebody now who has, you still serve clients. I know you're out serving your clients regularly, but you also have responsibilities of building a team. I don't know how active you are on the recruiting side and stuff, but what is that balance like for you?
We all have our strengths and weaknesses. And at one point in my career, I had, let's say, 10 agents under me. And managing a team for me is not, I couldn't do it.
Okay.
I struggled with it because I wanted them to succeed more than they did.
Yeah, that's hard.
And I couldn't. They wanted the accolades and the success, but they didn't want to do the work that it took to get there. You know, everyone sees where you're at and says, oh, I want to be there. And that's what they strive for. I have never wanted that. I've never wanted the awards. It's the things you do along the way that make a difference, that get you the success in life. So running a team has always been a struggle. And that's kind of where at one point I remember the day I wouldn't say fired, but, you know, ended my team and said, I'm going back to being an individual agent. And I have to have people alongside of me that believe, that have the same integrity, the same work ethic, the same desires as you. And then that becomes a family. And I have to say the people that I'm working alongside has never been more rewarding for me, because you have to be of like mind.
For sure.
And you have to grow in that area. But
so
that
do you
would be
have
my
agents
hardest.
now, or is it your daughters and your kids who are your team today? Is that the current team?
That's correct.
Got it. Okay.
So Hunter and Elizabeth both are buyer's agents.
Yep.
They also do listings.
Okay.
And then they're also my operations manager.
It's a true family business.
And also
is,
Hunter
it is.
started out doing my drone work and photography. He is phenomenal. And he was too busy that he had to like step away from that
Yeah.
to get more business into the real estate. So I'm very happy. And then we have support. The support members that we have on our team are priceless.
Yep.
And it's funny because they've been my clients. You know, I sold one lady 7 houses. She works for me, and she's my professional writer.
Very
So
cool.
it's kind of, I have everybody doing what they love to do, and that's their passion. And when you're doing what you love, it makes a difference. If I put someone in a job that's not really their skill set, they're struggling always to succeed because it's not what they want to do.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things we talked about in our mastermind, there's an author, Patrick Lencioni is his name. He wrote a book called The 6 Types of Working Genius. And the whole concept of his platform is putting people into the right spots, right? And figuring out first what their working geniuses even is. He has a whole test for that. But then once you identify it, how to be able to like put them in the right spots, because in his philosophy, most people end up leaving businesses or quitting or getting fired, not because they weren't the right person for the company, but they were in the wrong role.
Yep.
And it sounds like that's what you just brought up, is the importance of that. And that's something I'm assuming you're going through right now with Coastal Collective being new and you're looking to grow. And I know you've had the experience of interviewing talent over the last couple of years. What would you say was the biggest takeaway that you've had from that?
Kind of what Jodi said, like I really want someone that's like-minded and someone who has a good work ethic. Unfortunately, it's just not out there as much as it used to be. And, you know, like
It's
even
hard to tell that from an initial interview, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, because everyone can talk a really good game,
Right.
which is why we try to do 2 or 3 interviews. And I always try to do a face-to-face if they're local, because you want to see how they react and they feel in person. And is there that kind of good heart vibe, you know, but I mean, I fired my own daughter. I did. Her heart.
Would you be able to do that, Jodi?
Her heart was not in it, and that's
Ruthless
okay.
over here, this
I was like, I love you, but you're not happy. I'm not happy. Let's, you know. So she took some time off and went and like did a little hosting job or whatever, and she couldn't wait to get back. And so now she's back with me. But again, a lot of maturing happened in that 1.5 years. And, you know, now I see the heart and the care and the work ethic.
That's cool.
And so sometimes it just takes separating.
And she knows that she could get fired. If
And she
messes up
knows
again.
that I'll fire her butt again, for sure. But I do want to say to you, Jodi, like that's a real, is it a tribute to, not a tribute?
I would say so, yeah. A tribute
you
to the family.
And, you know, 4 kids, single mom, and you've raised them with such good humans, because I've met them, you know, and I've met your kids when they were younger. I've met them when they were older. They are, first of all, beautiful kids, but they really hold themselves, you know, very well and mature and graceful. So, you know, that just goes to show that you did an amazing job with them.
Good job,
That's
Mom.
an honor.
Good job,
Good job, Mom.
And I mean,
They
they're
represent
great.
you and the
Yeah.
brand very well.
We went to the horse track. I think that was probably the last time I saw you. And that was my first time meeting Hunter. And he was just a doll baby. Just,
Nice.
you can tell it was Jodi's kid. It was just, you know, soft soft-spoken and kind and, dressed really nice. And then we did the shimmy and we had a really good time. And sometimes kids can be a huge asset and sometimes they can just be a huge ass.
Yep, that's true.
I love it.
That is true.
But then they grow up and then you bring them back and everybody's happy. So, but interviewing's hard sometimes. You don't always know what you're getting just from talking to someone, unfortunately.
And we've interviewed a lot of team leaders, and it really is two different businesses entirely, from serving the client, which I know is your passion and what you're great at, to recruiting, team building, getting productivity, driving performance. It's a totally different role, right? That's a leadership based, and some people thrive in that spot. So It is about finding that niche for you. But you mentioned the shimmy, and I wanted to talk a little bit about media, because I also have always kind of admired your approach to things like TikTok, Jodi, and how you've gone into that and had a lot of fun with it. I know it's been part of your brand over the years. And you also just recently, this past year, have had some success with the American Dream TV show, another form of media as well. We can touch on that. So let's dig in a little bit to like the role that you feel like media has played in your branding and your business, from TikTok, social media, to eventually American Dream. How do you view that? Why do you enjoy it? What's been your approach to that?
Well, I do different marketing things and I see if it works or doesn't work, but I always give it a year. So if you're going to try something, I say really don't quit after 3 months, really dive into it. So I started, one year I decided I'm going to do what's called Jodi Avery Home. And I went on TikTok and I decided I was going to promote products. And it wasn't any kind of influencer thing. It was just like, I'm a gadget girl. I like gadgets in the kitchen. I like gadgets around the house. So, but it kind of tied to real estate. So I decided I'm just going to do these little short TikToks that talked about really fun products that I thought were just cool that I had and I used. Not any intention of selling them. I wasn't promoting them. It's just stuff that I love. So I remember doing one video. I did it at Hydrologic down the street where I described toilets, and I was telling
Interesting
them,
product to choose.
But I actually did the whole TikTok, like sitting on a toilet. I showed them, not an active one, but I told them the different types of toilets, what they do. Some toilets greet you.
Yeah.
And people just loved, because I was just authentic, showing them these things. But what happened is a show came around called The American Dream, and they were looking for agents. They saw that toilet.
Oh, wow. You never know.
They saw
never know what's going to get you hooked, huh?
Yeah. TikTok, and they thought it was hilarious. They go, we've never seen it. Because I was just being fun, because I would walk through the toilets and the toilet seats would go up. I always go, I love a toilet that greets me. You know what I mean? So
this is the oblong one.
It is.
So anyway, I did this thing, and American Dream loved me and said, you have such a great personality. I love how you handled it. So that gave me the in on being a host for the American Dream TV show. Yeah. Which allows me the whole job. And what they said to me is your job is to say why you love Tampa Bay and the surrounding areas. And I was like, that's me, because I'm at every Bucks game. I'm at every Lightning game. If I can paint my face, I would.
You are a community gal.
So, and I love going to events. So this has given me a platform to showcase a town that I love and passionate about. I can show local heroes, charities. And so for me, this has been a fun outlet that I get to do and share. And we've completed 5 episodes right now. So I'm super excited. The last one, we just did Safety Harbor, which comes out August 6th. Okay. We filmed for 5 hours in 105 degrees.
Wow.
And I'm not a glistener. Some people glisten. I sweat. So I was like, can we not do outside shoots in 105 degrees
in the middle of the summer
5
in
hours?
Florida? Yeah.
And it was just like, it was so
much. Do you do
much
different
fun.
towns each time? Is that how it works?
Well, no. I have some, authority of what we're doing and what we're showcasing. Okay. They have to approve it. So right now we've been like hopping over towns. We did Tampa and the Lightning, and we did Clearwater Beach, the Sun Festival. Okay. And with that, we did Frenchie's Restaurant. We did St. Pete. We did so I'm trying to capture different things that represent the town. And then even Safety Harbor, someone let us use their 1953 Volkswagen Bug. So we had fun strolling around in that. But I want to showcase stories that are untold, things that people should do, things that people haven't heard about.
Yeah.
And it's really catching on, and people are loving it. And there's so much joy in showcasing what I love.
Yeah, it's neat.
So it's been amazing.
Are you the only one who does that? Is it one of those contractual things where you have like the Tampa Bay area that you're the host of? And I bring this up because I remember I've seen other agents who've been a part of American Dream over the years, and I don't know how long they've been in this market now. But I think it was Jennifer Orns, if I remember. I don't know if you know Jennifer at all with the St. Pete Beach. So I had connected with her about this a while back, and there was a couple other people too. So I was just curious.
I don't know exactly
if you have a certain area or how that would work.
I know that they picked me out to highlight the Tampa Bay area.
Got it.
So part of that, is
any area in Tampa Bay.
It's
you
kind
can
of
kind
like
of determine
safety.
where you want to go.
It's like Pinellas, Hillsborough, Pasco.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things. But if you can have probably 100 agents doing it and never repeat anything.
Yeah.
Because everybody has their own niche,
Right.
what they like, what they want to do,
Yeah.
and how you use this platform to make a difference. And that's the key. You want to showcase
For sure.
the town that you love and what you care about it.
Yeah, and if you guys don't already follow Jodi, I'd highly recommend that you do, because I think what you find, at least from what I find from following you, is your content is very fun, right? It's about your personality, your community, the things you love about this community. That's, I think, fits really well with the American Dream theme. But even going back to like your TikTok channel, and I didn't see the toilet thing. That's new to me.
I'm going to have to go look when I get home.
I'll have to check that one out. I missed that one somehow in the mix. It's funny that you bring that up because on the trip that we were just having, my sister-in-law, they have bidets in their house, which I think are phenomenal.
They're amazing.
Do you have one at home?
My daughter did at her apartment.
Really?
So
I gotta get one of these things, man. First time I ever experienced it was in Europe, but then this time that was years ago.
They're not that expensive
They're
either.
not. I don't know why now everybody doesn't. It should be commonplace in an American home at this point.
It should be.
These bidets are groundbreaking.
They can be expensive.
Yeah, I'm sure they can.
They can be expensive, but it is one of those things that I always say, you got to have fun at this job. You got to love what you do. They got to see it in you. Our happy dances that you guys participated in recently, you can see how much fun it is.
For sure.
It just puts you in a good mood.
Even it's funny. When I had my team of 10, and let's say they had an issue with their client, and there was tension at closing, and they're like, "Don't dance. We're not going to dance." And I asked them. I said, "Hey, would you like to do a little happy dance?" The entire mood changes. Yeah. And I challenge anyone to try to dance.
Even most important to do it when you have a challenging closing, right? Let's change the energy in the room.
I challenge anyone to try to dance and be angry.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Can't do it. It's impossible to smile and be angry as well. That's always a good trick too. If you're in a bad mood, just force yourself to smile in the mirror, and it changes things.
If it wasn't Jodi, I'd probably bring the happy dance to Coastal Collective.
You can.
She might be willing to share that concept, I think.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because I encourage everything. In this business, we should all work together, and I encourage anyone who wants anything from me, I'll be more than happy to share it. That's what we need to do as realtors, come together, and that's what Real Producers does. They collaborate with other people, share their stories, share what you have learned, how can you help others, and you do an amazing job, and especially the magazine.
Thank you.
On what you shared. I have to say it's absolutely fabulous.
He's pretty great, for sure.
We
did talk about that yesterday.
We did. Yeah, we talked about that too. Lori was a big part of that from the very beginning.
Collaboration over competition, and you just gotta
Realtors, when they negotiate
everyone.
houses, they get combative, like we're the enemy.
Yes.
And I always have to say, hey, I look forward to working with you. How can we come together? How can we get this deal together? And the key is to be open.
Yep.
It is not a combative. It is not a,
Well, gratefully, I think I've found too, with the 1,000+ interviews now that we've done for the magazine and the podcast, that most of the top producers don't have that attitude. I think they do, similar to what you said, have a collaborative mindset, and I think in many ways that separates them as top producers versus the fact that there are 24,000 licensed agents throughout the market. Most of them are not top producers yet, if they maybe will be one day. But a lot of the ones who I think view it as cutthroat and competitive are really not producing very much volume, maybe for that reason, right? And so it does start, I think, with that mindset of collaboration and understanding how important that really is. So I agree with you. When you have the relationship with an agent on the other side of the transaction, that deal is going to obviously go a lot smoother.
So much smoother
than if you're trying to work against them for some reason. It doesn't make any sense. We're running out of time, but I want to do a couple quick rapid fire questions just for people to get to know you both a little bit more on the personal side. You've answered a couple of these before, I think, on a show that we had with you independently, but we'll do it again.
Okay.
So do you have a favorite book or author or seminar that you ever attended or read that you feel like has made a huge impact on you personally or professionally?
You know, I hate to say this. I don't want to sound religious, but I am one of those that I have earphones on 24/7, and I am constantly listening to podcasts, growing in my health, in my faith, and everything. I'm actually getting my pastoral license.
Wow.
So I've completed 2 years of Bible college, and I'm getting my third, which is literally 15 to 20 hours a week.
Nice.
So on top of what I do, I'm getting my pastoral license.
All your free time, huh,
So
Jodi?
the Bible is the key to life success. It gives you guidance in every area of your life. So that's always going to be my answer. But I do spend a lot of time learning in everything. Like I always want to know about health. I want to know about eating better and food preparation and everything, exercise.
Yep.
So I think that if you're in a state of learning and growing, it makes a difference in your life and it keeps you more open.
Yeah, Tony Robbins preaches the concept of 6 human needs. You've probably heard that before. And the first 4 are kind of like your basic fundamental human needs. But the last 2 are, when we're living in peak state, have to do with contribution and growth. So it's that mindset of always growing, looking for resources and other opportunities that are challenging us and helping us see new insights. And that never stops if you're living in those two, on those two sides, right? On the need side versus the other 4 are more about like the bare bones needs. As I know you've gone through that before.
Yep.
How about you? Is there one that comes to mind?
Yeah. So since I'm kind of, or was on the marketing side, for me, I always loved the book Shoulda, Woulda, Coulda. I really enjoyed, the Let Them, obviously, which is the newer phase. But Mr. Schmooze is one of my favorite marketing books.
Mr. Schmooze.
Mr. Schmooze. And it really is. Schmooze sounds kind of bad, but the whole book really is about, relationship building and how to, schmooze people in a good way.
There you go.
So
now, do you read the books or are these things you're listening to?
I do. Yeah, I'm not a reader.
I do everything audio.
Do you really?
I do everything
See,
audio.
I'm the opposite. I love reading.
No, I can't.
I have to take notes in it or else it doesn't sync as well.
See, and I'll read a whole page, and if I have to read it out loud. Otherwise, I don't. My mind is thinking of 40 other things, and I'll read a whole page and I'll be like, what did I just read? So I either have to read out loud. Like when I went to go do my title license and my real estate, I read the questions out loud. It's the way that I learn. So the audiobooks are really good for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Favorite movie or TV show?
That's a tough one. I don't know.
No, nothing come to mind?
I'm a reality girl. Like Big Brother, Love Island.
Yeah, I think you brought that up last time.
Yeah, I'm Grey's Anatomy still for 100 years.
I used to like that one.
I don't watch a ton of TV, but I have 4 or 5 shows that I am very, very religious on watching and that sort of thing.
It's hard for me to stay loyal to a show.
Really?
I just get distracted to it. I just got too much other stuff going on. I love sports, so I watch pretty much.
Yeah.
When I am watching TV, it's usually like a live game.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of TV other than that. But on the faith-based side, if you haven't ever checked out Sight and Sound Theaters or Sight and Sound Channel, I would recommend you do. I think you would love that. It's all Bible-based shows. And my kids absolutely love it. They're like 3-hour long. They're like Broadway style shows. We just saw a live performance up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania on our vacation on Joshua. So they have one on Jesus, on Joshua, on David, on Ruth, Esther, Queen Esther. So there's a bunch of different ones, but it's worth checking out. They're really talented people. It's called Sight and Sound. So I think for your faith, I think it would align very well with what you're all about for sure. That was a movie, yeah.
That was
Detail,
intense.
boy. That was intense. That was intense. Is he coming out with a second one, right? I saw.
I don't think I've seen that. I'm gonna have to maybe watch that this weekend.
The initial one's the whole movie is about like the night of crucifixion. But
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I heard they were launching a second one.
Yeah, and it's 2 parts. The first part comes out.
How long ago was it? The first one?
The first one came out years ago.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
okay.
probably decade ago now, right, Rob?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Is he okay enough to do a part 2?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a hot minute for sure.
I spent a lot of time outdoors. So I love being outdoors. I love playing tennis. I love playing golf.
You have always done tennis. I remember that.
And pickleball. You know, if I can be outdoors 24/7, that is my passion. So I love playing sports. I love being a part of sports.
That was my next question, is like favorite hobby or sports thing. And
Yeah,
so is it pickleball right now?
I play a ton of pickleball. I love it.
Okay.
I am a great golfer. And tennis is
You're
my
a
passion.
great golfer. I don't see a lot of people come out with that much confidence
Right.
about their golf game.
Well, the funniest thing is I grew
I
up.
love golf myself. I'm just not very good.
No, but I grew up playing tennis. I used to train 6 hours a day,
Okay.
and I was like the top 4 in the state of Florida.
Okay.
So I played with Andre Agassi and Mary Pierce
Oh,
and all
I had
these
such a
players.
crush
Wow.
on him.
So I was.
A lot of
I
ladies
was-
did
Who
like
didn't?
Andre.
So I was an intense tennis player, but pickleball was such a natural
Sure. Just
transition.
a shorter court.
Yeah, and as you get older, it's easier for me. You know, and then I was on the golf team in high school, and so I
Wow.
decided recently. I said I'm going to get new clubs. I'm going to start playing.
Nice.
And
Quite an athlete you are, Jodi.
So I do play golf every single week.
You a member of a club up there?
I'm not a member of a club, but I play at different places. I only play 9 holes because it is so time consuming.
Yeah.
But I definitely am one of those out of the box. Like I will risk shooting between the trees, saying I'm gonna make it, and I do. So I don't play traditional. You know how you're supposed
Right.
to like put it back on the green.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just like
You go for the
I think-
gusto, huh?
Yeah.
You're going
The
for the
best
green
was
gal.
when my ball was at the edge of a little pond. It was in a little dirt, and I go, I got this. But I didn't want to take the penalty because I wanted to win. So I hit it. Mud covered me in my hair all over my outfit.
What? You hit it
over
that
my
hard?
feet. And I remember driving in with my golf cart to hand in your golf cart, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you're one of those."
You ever see any gators out there every
All
now
the
and again?
time. It's
Yeah.
fun. I
I'll
love
see them
being
on the
in
tee
nature.
box. Yeah.
It's so much fun.
That's part of living in
I
Florida.
like to know where they are instead of them knowing
Yeah.
where I am.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
I got to keep an eye and say, "Hey." That is frightening when you don't see one, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden it's.
They pop out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I've seen them just hanging out in the tee box, but I have had one sneak up on me when I was my back to the water. And my buddy was watching, and he was like, "Dude, there's a gator coming up out of the water at you." And I turned around, and I had my club ready to go, and then he saw me, and he went back away. But
That's always
you-
exciting.
You got to be ready. You got to
You
be
gotta
ready.
be
How about
ready.
you? Other than peptides, is there a favorite hobby that you got going on right now?
I mean, for me, it's probably still cooking. You know, I love, now that my daughter moved back, we always kind of had this thing where, you know, we try a couple new recipes each week and cook together. And then I got into the sourdough. So then all of a
Can
sudden,
you make me one?
yes, all of a sudden I had, you know, 80 bagels and 40 cinnamon rolls at my house, and I was just like, this is a lot. So I started giving away to everybody. So I do enjoy that. I like outdoors, but if I am, I want to be like at a pool or the beach. I'm not really the one that's like gonna
we're a
go
beach family,
hike
too.
somewhere or something like that.
My wife isn't either.
Yeah,
She's
I
not
just
into
because
that.
I'm a sweater
She
too.
wants a hotel, not a cat.
Yeah,
She
same.
doesn't want to RV or anything
no,
like that.
No. So that's, I think, kind of, you know, for me. Otherwise, I just like silence. I'm a silence girl. I love to just kind of sit and.
Which is interesting because you're really good with people.
But I think that's the thing.
That's the
is
decompression.
It's
Yeah.
the decompression because all day all I do is speak to people and put a smile on, and you know it is genuine. But I get home and sometimes the social battery is like
Yeah.
I'm done, and
I can
so
relate to
I
that.
won't even
I like
have the
putting on a
TV
game and just no one
on.
talking to
and-
me.
No, I won't even have the TV on. Like I'll just kind of sit in the living room and just kind of think and meditate and let my brain kind of, you know, come down and that sort of thing. And so I do love silence, and not everyone likes that, but
Pretty crunchy of you for sure.
yeah, a lot of people don't know that about me because they think I'm like such like a,
Yeah.
you know, and
We're
I
digging
am.
everything
But
we can out on this
I
episode.
Yeah.
think that's so true because I'd have to say I cannot stand having pictures taken. I don't like the center of attention. I will never go up and get my award. I will beg my kids to go up there. So it is funny, but I train myself to like how to pose and do a picture within 3 seconds. You know, like I know how to get in and get out of the picture. And once I've did that, I found like, okay, I can conquer this. But it's funny how we all step out of our comfort zone to be, you know, a little bit more out there.
Yeah,
And if anyone ever said, will you ever do the show? The answer would have been 100% no.
I know, like
But
you
because
rocking
I
it.
love Tampa Bay,
Yeah. It's been a fit.
yes.
Well, ladies, we're going to end the episode with our last question, and I call this our legacy question. So, Jodi, when you think about hopefully many years from now, and you're on that rocking chair looking back on your legacy, what do you think would be most important for you, whether this is personal or professional, in terms of what you would want to be most known for in terms of your legacy?
I think I want to be known that I genuinely cared. I walked alongside of people. I made a difference in their lives. You know, I think when I was little, I was a weird girl, I would say, a little bit. I loved biographies. And I would read biographies on everyone's life. And I was just captivated.
That's neat. I do too.
On how they lived, how they presented themselves. And two of my favorite people were Mother Teresa, which is just an odd one.
No.
And then Corrie ten Boom. But I had a whole bunch of favorites, but I was just obsessed with biographies. But Mother Teresa always had this quote, and let me just see if I have it here. I should have it memorized. But it was like, let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Be the living expression of God's kindness, kindness in your face, kindness in your smile, kindness in your eyes. And I feel like that has been our motto for our real estate business, because it really isn't about selling houses. It's about the relationships, how you can walk alongside that person and make a difference. And you should make a difference in every person you meet.
For sure.
You know, and show kindness. You know,
I love it.
Makes a difference.
Yeah.
And Laura, I know I've asked you this question before,
I just
and we
second
have an
her.
answer. Do you have anything different you want to throw in there?
Ditto. I mean,
And by the way, if you haven't seen, Lori and I have an episode together on
Yeah.
this show, so you can follow it in our YouTube channel. If you don't already subscribe, just click the button so you're notified every time we drop a new episode. But not that long ago, Lori came into our other studio up on 54, and we were able to dive in. It was before this exciting
It
news.
was.
So
Yeah,
this
it
is
was-
cool that we've had you back so that we
Yeah.
can kind of share some of the updates
Yeah,
and some of
yeah.
the new things that just went down. But we got to dive in a lot to your story and your background on that show. So there's a long form conversation there that you
is.
can look into.
Yeah.
with
But I
Lori
think
and
for me with, you know, kind of legacy, it's just, I want people just to remember me as a good human, you know, like, again, collaborative, you know, if we're talking, you know, business wise, just again, someone who genuinely cares about not only my client, but the whole real estate community, you know, like even in the meeting yesterday, right? Like I didn't really know anybody. And I think it was Karina was like, that's interesting because we all know you, you know, and I was like, oh, that's, you know, really cool. So I've made some sort of impact. And I think that's the thing that I always want to be known for business wise, is that I made an impact on the real estate community here in, you know, in the Tampa Bay area. And, you know, personally, it's just, you know, that I've made my daughter proud and my mom proud and, you know, God proud. And, I just want to be known. I mean, and I have my faults. Don't get me wrong. I can be a little spicy at times. That's the Italian in me. But I do try
We're all
to,
sinners,
I
Lori.
do try to be,
Sinners saved by grace.
yeah, I do try to be kind and a good human. And,
Well, you got to realize in this business, we're walking alongside of people who, why are they moving? They're getting divorced, they have sickness, they can't afford things. Crisis, you know, they're not necessarily moving for positive reasons, you know, and it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, this is a big financial decision in their life, and you have to be there not just for the real estate deal, but for everything else going on in their life.
Right.
yeah.
And
Most
that's what
successful
makes a
agents
difference.
we've had really view their role as a consultant. And
Yeah.
a good consultant is going to listen, ask great questions, understand that they're there to find a different solution based on the person's needs. That's ultimately what I think top people do, right? And not every agent, unfortunately, acts that way, which is why I think many of them struggle in the business. But I know people like you do, and you've built your business on being a great listener and obviously genuinely caring about results and getting results for your people. So we have to put a bow on the episode, ladies, but it's been a pleasure to have you both here. I hope that we can have you in studio again to talk about other topics as well over the years. But I always end the audio. I always end this. Yes, Rob. For sure. Well, before I say that, then, if someone wants to follow you, Jodi, and learn more about the toilet side of things,
goodness, no.
what's the best way for someone to contact you?
The best thing is to really go to my website, which is www.jodieavery.com.
Perfect.
And that has my A-list directory. It has all my TV episodes, and it connects to YouTube, and it gives you great resources.
Awesome. So jodieavery.com. We'll make sure we throw that in the description as well. Same thing with you with the new coastal deets.
Yeah. My number's in the bathroom stall. But other than that, you can reach me at 813.
I love you.
422-1328. And we are also coastalcollective.com is the website, which I'm so proud of. It went live on Monday and I love it. So please go take a look. Otherwise, all my social medias, I'm always on there. You can always message me or
and
whatever.
you can see our happy dance together.
I know. I'm so excited. And honestly, I do want to say, I know we have to finish up, but I thank you for having me. This is the person I would love to have done this with. So I think we have a lot of history and we genuinely care about each other. Whether we work together or not, we are friends. So I wouldn't have wanted to do this with anyone else. So thanks for having me.
No doubt. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Don.
Well, we're going to wrap up with a call to action. We always challenge the audience to take action on at least one thing that you heard about on our conversation today that you think can propel you forward personally or professionally. Maybe it's even one of the book recommendations that were brought up, or you heard us talk a lot about the impact of genuinely caring and figuring out ways that you can add value. Jodi shared examples of her A-list business model and things that even from the very beginning, when the way she was going into knocking on doors and building the connection first, which eventually got built up trust so much that people were signing contracts with nothing on it just because they had a relationship with Jodi. And maybe there's an area there that you feel like you need to work on with the relationship piece that you can, pick brains with someone like Jodi and ask some questions, or someone else in your organization that is great at that can help you grow your business as well. Maybe you need to check out one of the other resources that we threw out there, but do something. Lock in the value from watching the episode so that it doesn't get lost and you can move forward personally or professionally about it. Maybe you just need to subscribe to our show. Click the button, like I said, below. You'll be notified every week when the new episode drops. We tend to do these weekly here in studio. You can also follow us at topproducersnation.com, where you'll see the online community. We have free courses there now for agents to help them grow their business, to help with marketing, to help with branding, to help with their webinar formats. We've been really leaning into building webinars for agents as well as for team leaders and recruiting. So if any of that interests you, feel free to book a call with us and we can dive in with you on what is actually involved in being able to set all that up. We have a free strategy call that you can do that right on the website at topproducersnation.com. So follow us, like I said, and we will see you on the next episode of the Top Producers Nation podcast. We'll see you later.